Hello all, today we're going to learn how to write an Excel file using Python. So if you have been watching my video, I have been scraping a lot of information. So based on the scraped information, we are going to write a file and we are going to write it to an Excel file. Okay. So yes, we have the URL libs and regular expressions to write the or scrape information off the web. Okay, but in order to write an Excel file, the best way to do it is use the XLSWriter function or use this package, and you can probably get this by using tools and installing as a package manager or Canopy terminal, and make sure that you have installed the XLSWriter. Okay, and once I've done that, I'm going to write a new file called price monitoring 1. So currently I do not have that file with me. So that is this is the folder that I'm going to write it towards, and I do not have a file. So I'm going to make a completely new file of it. And I'm going to write it on my first worksheet, and I'm just going to call it worksheet 1. And for the next two parts, I'm going to scrape information, in this case Sony 55-inch and Sony 65-inch television from Best Buy. Okay, once I have done that, I'm going to do some erasing of some unwanted characters of the prices. And once I'm done, for the price itself, because it is a integer or a double in this case, I want to keep that information while I put it into Excel. So I'm going to transfer that to a floating point, so it makes sure that it is a numerical value that I'm going to be providing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to write it to my first worksheet, and I remember I've called it sheet 1. So for the first worksheet, I'm going to write it on for the first row on the first column. I'm going to call that products, and vertically the next row is going to be Sony 55-inch. The following is going to be Sony 65-inch. Okay, and for on the columns, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to place a timestamp to it. So that is, I'm eventually probably going to be monitoring what I'm going to be scraping. So I want to put a timestamp and make sure that it's going to be stamped and give me the information when I scrape the price information. Okay, and for the next row, what I'm going to have is I'm going to put the price of the Sony 55-inch television at that time. And on the following row, I'm going to put in my price point for the Sony 65-inch. And finally, I'm going to close the workbook. Okay, so let me run this code and let's see what happens. Okay, it's running and it seems that there's no errors. Everything is done and all good. And let's see what happens. And if I look at the folder again, now you probably would notice that this is the information or the new file that has been created. Okay, let me open this and see what happens. Okay, and this seems to be the price information that I've captured. Yes, you can look at the price, which was the first row and the first column. I'm sorry, product was the first row, first column. And on the following row, I have Sony 55-inch, and the next is 65-inch. And if you remember, I gave it a timestamp, and I give relative information in terms of the price. Okay. So yes, you probably noticed that this is a very simple way in order to scrape information and then put it in an Excel file for you to monitor later on. Okay, hope this video was helpful, and have a good night.